everyone, and welcome to Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy. Y'all bear with me here for just a few moments. It looks like I'm having some difficulty. Yeah, let's see here. Hold on just one moment. And I'm going to play my, just bear with me here for just a moment here. So as you know, I'm doing back-to-back interviews. Okay, so bear with me here and let's see what we need to do. Those of you that are tuning in, stay tuned with me and I will be right back as we play our intro. We're about to interview Mr. Royce Dixon. I'm so super excited. Yes, I am. All right, so hold one moment here for me. I am here, guys, so just stay with me here.
Welcome to Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Friends, a weekly talking segment with invited guests, best-selling authors, international speakers, coaches, and business leaders. A collective conversation aimed to empower, encourage, inspire all that listen. So welcome to our show, Coffee Conversations with Sandy and Friends.
Okay, there we go. I'm bringing my guest on now. So listen, I'm super excited. I am Dr. Sandy Sanders, and I am the host and creator of Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy podcast. We are powered by CTR Media Network, where we're heard in over 350 viewers, households worldwide and over 100 countries globally. I'm super excited to be on with you on tonight. We have with us a solo book project author, and I am very excited because not only is he an author, I'm talking about Mr. Royce Dixon Sr. And we're going to bring him on. I'm going to be introducing him to the audience. Yes, he is the CEO of Be Blessed Culture. Not only is he an author, but he's a photographer as well as a speaker. Listen, I'm just excited about bringing him on, and he's got some new projects. He's got a new project that I'm looking forward to hearing more about. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on my tonight's guest. I am super excited. We have been anticipating this conversation and this interview for a minute. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring my guest on. Yes, and you all listen, we just ended up our interview with Dr. Tina J. Ramsey. Yes. And so, Mr. Royce, hello.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Taking a breather here. I've been on the tour as well as you all have been on the tour with having the authors. That you all have been coming through and you all have been sharing your book projects. And so super excited that you have joined us and joined the tour with the authors to be on and sharing about your book. I will be bringing that up, but come on and say hello to our audience, if you will.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Sandy, for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Author Royce Dixon. I am a writer, a photographer, a speaker. I'm also a full-time bailiff at the Winnebago County Courthouse. I do a little bit of everything. I'm also the social media director of my church. You name it, I've probably done it or tried to do it.
I didn't realize that you were social media director of your church.
Yes. I do a lot of social media stuff. I create our flyers, do everything with Facebook, and whatever I can do to help out the church.
So you're multi-talent and use those gifts, those talents and gifts to glorify the Lord. That is amazing. Yes. Well, listen, we're going to be talking about your book, A Rose on the Concrete Court. A Rose on the Concrete Court. But let's talk about some of the other projects that you have. I am going to be pulling up your work, but come on and tell us a little bit about the publishing company that you're with and a little bit about your other literary work that you have.
Okay. The publishing company I'm with is called She Publishing. Shanita Finesse is the CEO, and her family, they run the company. I met them a couple of years ago, and I can tell you the difference between doing it by everything by yourself, being independent versus having a publishing company behind you makes a huge difference. They've put me on and took me to places where I never thought I'd be, put me in rooms with different people. And it just so happened this coming weekend, we're having a gala where she celebrates all of her authors. So that's going to be an amazing weekend. I'm up for 2 awards with them. And then some of my other projects, I started out with Hidden Feelings. I want to talk about why men have a hard time sharing their feelings and showing emotions through different things and experiences I've had for years. And from there, I went to a book about our marriage, divorcing and getting remarried. It's called Blessed While Broken. And I talk about how I was blessed, even though I didn't know it at the time, but when I was broken. And the Lord kind of put things back together. And it was kind of like a puzzle piece. You couldn't see all the moves being made. And then once you see the last puzzle piece get put in, you see it's a beautiful story. And then I came back, so I wanted to write something for the kids during COVID. So I wrote JoJo's Learning Adventures. I'm my little cousin that it's always, for him to keep learning, even though school's not in, keep reading and keep your education going. So I try to get 10% back of every. I give that back to him for him to save, for him to go to college. And then I came back with Hidden Feelings Revealed, which is part 2 to the original book, Hidden Feelings, where my main character seeks help. Us in the African-American community, we don't like to go to see a psychiatrist. We think everything that goes on in the house is supposed to stay in the house. But if you're hurting, who do you go to? So you got to go outside your house.
You got to go outside. I love that point because I think with our culture, I was just sharing that with Dr. Sanja Stinson, and I my headspace here with my I call it my senior moment. Dr. Sanja Stinson is also out of the Chicago, Illinois area. So both of you, this great woman of God, she is a nonprofit organizer as well, and the plethora of things that she do. But we were talking about that today. We were discussing imposter syndrome. We were talking about showing up when life changes, how you handle all of those, and more of the conversation was on women. But one of the things that you're saying too is that for men, and from that young boy, knowing that it's okay to go to therapy, it is okay to get that additional help outside of that mentorship and that pastoral guidance and things to that nature. Let's really dive into that and we're going to get to the book, audience, but I really want us to talk about the importance, because I'm a mother of an adult Black son. And so my son is 38 years old, single parent, full caregiver for his father. And so the challenges, and yet he is still pursuing his education. He had to put his education on hold. But some of the challenges that he went through, I had to really listen to my son and hear what he was dealing with as a Black male. And so I think, and obviously, yes, you're a voice for our community, but are you also finding that, is it a cultural thing? Are you seeing that it's across the board in other cultures, other nationalities? What are you seeing when it comes to the males?
I think for the most part, it's across the board, but I think it's more deeply rooted in the African-American community. Because of the way we were taught. Like I said, what goes on in this house stays in this house. We tell our young boys when they fall down, get up, be a man. Well, he's 2 or 3. What does he know about being a man? So we kind of sabotage ourselves in that sense, and Other coaches, they'll go to a psychiatrist. They'll sit down on the couch and have the conversation and get help from it. Versus we have a hard time doing it.
The kids to therapy, the whole nine, but we're beginning to do it. I think, and so what can I say is that there is a generation of parents that from my generation, you're absolutely right. Was I quick to say, come on, boy, let's get it together. I'm out here working and I need you to get it together. And I know I probably represented a whole line of other mothers that were telling their sons, especially if they were single moms, listen, you got to get it together. I got to go out here. I got to keep food on the table. And we didn't take time to really listen to our sons. And
I was guilty of it too.
Yeah.
Not even realizing it until after we went through the divorce and I wrote the book Blessed While Broken. I started seeing how some of the things that I did that affected me when I was a child, now as a man, and now I pass that along to my son. My daughter falls down, I tell me what's wrong. My son falls down, he get up, be a man. So I taught my daughter how to express herself, and my son to keep everything in. So yeah.
To hold it in. And I'm so grateful that you're changing the narrative and you're taking responsibility for that. And that speaks volume, not just for you, it will for you, but it also sets a pace that others, I believe that here's the thing, Billy Graham, there was one person that shared Christ with him. And because that one person, and he said yes to the Lord, all of the millions of people that he touched their lives, whether it was through media, whether it was having those football stadium revivals, crusades, we called them back then. If one person, and so for you and the lineage and it making the impact in your son and others, I just listen, a woman my age, Liz, I am so grateful. You're a breath of fresh air, as they say. But I know that there are so many other men like you in your generation. There is, and we're very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think if more men would just take on the responsibility, the accountability, because I believe that we owe it to the younger generation to teach them better than what we were taught. Because if you know better, you do better. And so now with all the technology and stuff that we have, there's no reason why that we don't seek help, that we don't reach out to help others to get their hand back up.
Yeah. And doing that as well. Well, tonight we are going to be talking and discussing your book project that we're going to be talking about tonight. And so let's go ahead and get into it. I do want to share my screen. We are being sponsored tonight. I want to pick back up with CTR Media Network. Let's go ahead and that's who we are powered by. And that is who we're powered by. And we're going to hear from CTR Media Network, and then we'll be right back.
What's something people don't know about CTR Media Network? It's where content truly meets impact. At CTR Media Network, we believe in the power of stories. Our platform is a dynamic blend of education and entertainment, crafted to inspire and empower creators like you. From insightful podcasts to transformative videos, we offer a diverse range of content that helps you learn, grow, and thrive. Our mission? Innovating media, one story at a time. Imagine a place where your voice can reach millions, where your stories can reshape perspectives. That's CTR, Create, Thrive, Redefine. Join a community of visionary creators and make your mark on the world. Because here at CTR Media Network, your content doesn't just entertain, it makes an impact. So, are you ready to create, thrive, and redefine? Dive in and discover a new world of possibilities, where content meets impact. CTR Media Network.
Yes, CTR Media Network, where content meets impact. And now, listen, if you all would like to be a guest on our program, please reach out to me through CTR Media Network or just send me a message. You can find me on all social media platforms, okay? So listen, we're about to have the discussion with Royce about this book project. And so without further ado, and let me go ahead and pull this up, we're talking about A Rose on the Concrete Court. A Rose on the Concrete Court. And I'm going to share my screen of the book cover. And Royce, I'm going to ask, and come on, and let's bring us into this book. Okay, and bear with me here for just a moment. Let me share my screen here. Going to pull up your graphic cover of your book. Yeah, talk to us. We see the basketball, we see that, and give us a little bit backdrop of this amazing book.
So I started writing this book about my brother and telling his story. But once I got to writing it, and I realized that I didn't want to kind of tell all of his story, that I kind of take up a little bit and put a little bit more fiction into it. But A Rose on the Concrete Court is really about redemption. And I'm sure lots of families can agree, can attest to, we all need redemption at some point in time. We've all strayed away, but some of us come back, some don't. And so if you look at even the cover, you see the rose, the beauty can grow up even in the worst environments. Yeah. Not just use the basketball court as a metaphor, because life is like a game. And then with the sun in the background kind of shows God's light on the situation. And so I thought it was fitting to have all of those different images in the cover. Yeah. And so with my main character, AJ Rose, he's one of the main characters. He was a high school basketball star, went off to college and got hurt his knee, blew out his knee, and got a young girl pregnant at the time. She quit school, and now they have these two twin boys, Aaron and Jamal, who are emulating everything that their dad did. And so they seen dad hustling and doing, working in the streets. So one of the twins decided to go that route. He wanted to be the hustler. He wanted to make the money. And the other twin was more of a laid back. He wanted to go to school and get his education. And so even though they grew up in the same house with the same set of parents, you can kind of see the two, how they are similar, but so very different at the same time. Even though they're identical twins, you can't tell them apart. And so there's a scene in there where things kind of go left for the family, because there's a local drug dealer who talks to one of the twins, talks him into throwing a basketball game. And the one twin wants to do it because they're poor. They're living in a 2-bedroom house with not much to eat, and they don't have any nice clothes, the shoes, and all that like the other kids do. So he wants to go that route, and the other twin wants to go the other way. And so as things happen, the one twin talks to the other twin, and they're going and doing it. So they did it one time and got away with it. They end up trying it again, and things kind of get dicey from there. I don't want to tell the whole book I want people to come out and read it, but that's kind of where the story begins. But as you can see, the cracks, I forgot to talk about the cracks. And the cracks represent the cracks in the family, the cracks between father and sons, mother and sons, father and sons, brother and brother. So all these different cracks, but the good thing about a crack, it can be sealed. Everything can come back together.
Yes. And there can be healing behind that. Like you said, that it represents redemption. It represents, with this book here, you are the audience. And of course, we're going to provide you with information of how you can get this book in your hand. We want to let you know that this is a 5-star. Congratulations on your awarding of this book. It is found to be a bestseller. And so congratulations on that. And the comments of this book and some of the reviews. So again, we're just giving you the backdrop of this book here. And as you mentioned, it's a heartfelt story of redemption, and how it's relatable. It is so relatable. I have a question, because in looking just at in what year is this book setting? Because it definitely represents much stories that we're hearing of the basketball, the young man who has a desire to do well in sports. Sports is usually the first selection when you're thinking about making it out of your community. So let's talk about that a little bit, because it was a way of escape, I would think. And was that your desire of bringing up, shining a light on that area of using basketball, because you could have used any other sports, other levels of education, but again, help us along with that.
For me, and like I said, I started writing this about my brother. My brother was a basketball star. He was good. He hurt his knee his junior year in high school, kind of derailed his basketball career. But here in the city where I live at, in Rockford, Illinois, all the kids play basketball. You know, back when I grew up, we played basketball, football, baseball. We did everything. But now there's so many kids playing. Their only focus is basketball, and they can be really good at something. Because their AAU is so prominent, and that's all they do all summer. They have nothing. They have no time for anything else. And so our athletes who used to be 3 sports stars are now just a 1 sports star, and there's only a certain number of people that can play basketball. And so I think that's hurting them because they don't see themselves past, oh, I want to go to the NBA. Well, what's your fallback plan if you don't make the NBA?
Yeah.
Because there's a very small percentage that does make it, no matter how good you are.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I wanted to use basketball too, because it's such a common sport amongst everybody. Everybody likes a good basketball game.
They do. Absolutely. I wanted to read some of the reviews, if you don't mind. And this is for our audience. The person that wrote this review, they said, forgiveness is therapy. And they purchased the book. And the writer says, once I started reading this book, I couldn't put it down. I was lost in imagination as I remembered local high school games, which I attended. I've seen players who were on fire and could not miss a shot. The depiction of the brothers being twins was an extra twist that I truly enjoyed. This story speaks to the strength of the mother and the evolution of the father. Forgiveness is such a powerful act. And that is from someone who also read the book. And here's one talking about redemption. This individual, they wrote, redemption. With faith in our Heavenly Father, we can become overcomers. I laughed, I prayed, and I cried. God can do anything but fail, Royce Dixon, and got all of the claps. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You have so many amazing reviews. You all listen. This is a 5-star rating on this book. We want to certainly put this book in your hand and listen. Yes, all of the reviews, straight 100%, 5-star rating on this book. A Rose on the Concrete Court. What we want you to do, you got your book with you. We're going to have you to read a page or two, or read a snippet of the book. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And you get ready for that. We're going to hear from one of our sponsors. We have a humanitarian boot camp coming up in Ghana. So I want to shed light on that tonight, as well as one of our sponsors, which we have that is a sponsor of our podcast. Okay. And if you will, just remain on the line and we will hear from the humanitarian leadership boot camp that will be taking place in October.
Are you ready to lead with purpose, connect with global change makers, and amplify your impact? This October, the world gathers in Nairobi, Kenya for the 4th edition of the most transformative gathering of humanitarian visionaries, servant leaders, and purpose-driven trailblazers. Welcome to the Humanitarian Leaders Bootcamp and Award 2025 with the theme Inclusive Growth, Humanitarian Leadership for Economic Transformation. Date 8 to 10th October 2025 in Nairobi, Kenya. Exciting, right? Come learn, connect, and lead with integrity, innovation, and impact. Whether you are a change maker, community builder, development expert, non-profit leader, or entrepreneur with a heart for humanity, this is your space to grow and glow. What to expect is power-packed networking opportunities, inspirational panels and capacity building workshop, cultural exchange and city tours, strategic collaboration and business connection, the prestigious Humanitarian Leaders Award Night. Now, you don't just attend the Humanitarian Leaders Bootcamp, you experience it. Come, let's build sustainable solution together. Registration is now open. Secure your seat today and click the link below to register, sponsor, or partner with us. The world needs more leaders like you.
Yes, need more leaders like you. Do listen out for more information of the boot camp, the humanitarian boot camp that will be held in, it will be in Nigeria this year. And we will be getting you more information that you'll be able to attend virtually. Listen, you guys, I broke my glasses, so I have my old ones on tonight. All right. So listen, our next sponsor, I want to make an introduction. Yes, yeah. Be Blessed Clothing, Be Blessed Clothing, and Be Blessed Culture. They are our sponsor, which I am with the CEO tonight. But we want to thank you for being one of our sponsors of our podcast. And one of the things is their motto is that the intention to share God's living word with the world, one piece of clothing at a time. They will intentionally continue to be blessed, to be a blessing as he allows. And again, it's a movement. It is a movement. And I'll have you to share a little bit more about that, of what Be Blessed Culture is all about. It was established in 2017. We're working on the intro and information, but thank you so much for sharing and sponsoring our podcast. And yes, I'm going to just share a screen. I love the logo. Yes, indeed. And so we're going to want you all, listen, audience, listen, we want you to follow the culture, follow Be Blessed Culture and what it all stands for. Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to yield, and it's more than the clothing. It's a lifestyle, I believe, that you're letting the audience know, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it really is. Back in 2017 when we started, my wife used to always be on me. I don't like wearing other big name brand stuff. That's really not me. I'm not really into name brand, but I wanted to wear something that meant something, that had some meaning behind it, that would also share the message that we want to portray. So when I designed just came out the first design, it just stuck. You know, we're blessed to be a blessing to other people, which is truly what we want to do. So in whatever way we can, we try to be a blessing everywhere we go. Yeah. And so that just kind of off. And
from there you have a movement. It does. It really does. And like you said, is that when you wear when someone wears your clothing line and you have ball caps, you have the Be Blessed line of t-shirts, your hoodies, and we'll talk about that more a little bit later. But again, you all, we are being sponsored, yes, by Be Blessed Culture. And we are on tonight with the CEO and founder of this family-owned business, who is also the author and the book that we'll be talking about tonight. This book here has a 5-star rating on Amazon. And so we are going to now be talking with and hear just a little bit about this book, A Rose on the Concrete Court, okay, which is a backdrop story, a personal story. It is fictional, but it's a story that our author has put in and looking at the life of his brother and, of course, others in the book. So let's go ahead and hear a little snippet of this book, A Rose on the Concrete Court, by, yes, best-selling author Royce Dixon Sr. And I yield.
Okay. All that morning, forgiveness kept replaying in his head, from how his father was with him to how he was with Aaron and Jamal. His father may have scarred him physically, but he scarred his boys emotionally. This is a tough pill for AJ to swallow. He never wanted to be like his father, yet somehow he's similar mistakes at the end. AJ is feeling like the weight of the world is slowly being lifted from his shoulders, and much better than what he was when he arrived. As they are transitioning from Sunday school to worship service, his thoughts start to shift toward Aaron and what he must be going through and feeling. All these years of not being there for Aaron and Jamal, not showing up for games or providing them like other fathers do for their children, He must really hate me. Then for me to almost put my hands on him, how can he ever forgive me? Will it take 50 some odd years for him to forgive me like it did for me to forgive my pops? God, I hope not. So that's just a small snippet of what's in the Rose on the Concrete Court. A lot of times we emulate, we train our children the way we were trained. Whether it was right, wrong, or indifferent, we don't understand the significance sometimes with the way we unintentionally train our children. As I stated to Dr. Sandy earlier, when my son fell down, I would tell him, get up, be a man, stop crying. That's the way I was taught. Whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. That's what I heard when I was a kid. And so by me telling him those things, he's growing up with the same scars that I grew up with. So with my book and with every book that I write, I'm trying to break those stereotypes and help, especially us as men and the women. They are, women already have a lot of help. They're easy to talk. They'll go talk to their girlfriends or whatever. But men, we're so guarded with everything. And we hate to feel vulnerable because we don't want it to be turned against us. And so hopefully with these books that I've written, that the men will understand that it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be strong all the time. You have a partner, especially if you're married, you have a partner who you can lean on. So don't hold everything in and then end up hurting yourself because you're trying to be strong for everybody else. I think that's really what my message is in everything that I write. And it's not easy being vulnerable. It's not fun. Sometimes it still brings up some bad memories, but those memories, they only last for a moment and they'll eventually go away. But the way we teach our kids will last a lifetime.
That is so true. That is so true. Thank you so much. Listen, we want you, your website. We do have the website up for our author tonight. I did put it over in the chat. I want you to go ahead and go to his website. You'll be able to follow and follow the website. Look at the blog. That's what I'm reading now was the blog. But let's start from the top. We have Roy Dixon Sr. As we said, Be Blessed Culture is so much to this family-owned business. And as the CEO, we find that Royce is an author, a photographer, and entrepreneur. His work is just phenomenal. You mentioned the books Hidden Feelings. You mentioned Blessed. What is it? Blessed with Broken? Blessed when, okay, While Broken. While Broken. And then we have, so you have 2 Hidden Feelings books revealed. So you have 2 of those. Okay, awesome.
They're individual reads, but they go together. It's a series. And then also a Rose on the Concrete Court. There's also characters in that book from the other 2 books.
All right. So listen, we want you to sign up, get on the mailing list, find out what it's all about, find out what all the book is about. And listen, let's follow the journey of our author tonight. Get on the mailing list so that whenever new publications are being released, you'll get that notification definitely. And we're just excited about all what's happening with you. As you mentioned, there's an award ceremony gala coming up this month, and we're just super excited for you to come on to Coffee Conversation and Book Talks and share your book and share your information about all that you're doing. Now you've got another book coming out, and I can't wait to talk about this one. Any last words that you want to say on a Rose, because you've got an author call out there. And we can come back. Anything you want to share about a Rose on the Concrete? How can people purchase the book?
They can inbox me, go to my Facebook page or Instagram page, go to my website. If you want a signed autographed copy, you can always come to me personally and I'll mail it to you, or you can go to Amazon, or you can go to shepublishingllc.com, which is my publishing company, and you can get the book from there. If you order from there, you'll get a nice gift package. I don't know if you can see this really good, but it comes in a really nice box, and there's a few gifts on the inside, and then there's a list. So you list all the authors in there, so if you want other books, there's another way for you to reach some of the other authors on the She Publishing roster. So It's a phenomenal publishing company that does that for us. So, yeah, I think that's it for the Rose on the Concrete Court.
Oh, okay.
Buy the book. We'll enjoy it.
And absolutely, I want you to talk about because I love all of the graphics that depicts this book here. I'm not quite ready to release the conversation because I want you to help us with this particular screen. I'm going to share something, audience, with you about this particular picture that Royce has, the imagery of this. We're talking about the Black culture. So tell us a little bit about this scene here.
Yeah, that's the scene when the boys had just come back from the park, and the drug dealer makes his deal with one of them to throw the game. And so now they've gotten the money, 2 duffel bags full of money, a van full of Jordan shoes. And so they brought it back home, and they're going to find a way. They figure if they can get dad on board, then mom will be on board. And so while they're at home, dad comes home. He's already found out about it from, being out in the streets. And he comes home and he's questioning what's going on. Why did you do this? What made you think that you were able to do this? He's like, Dad, well, look in the refrigerator. There's nothing in there. There's a half drink gallon of milk and a bottle of water. We don't eat on a regular basis. We don't have anything. So he's trying to plead his case to his dad, and his dad is just getting mad, because he knows what comes with doing what throwing a basketball game, whether it's jail time or if you don't do what the drug dealer told you to do, it may end your life. And now he's put all of them in danger, and he's only 16 or 17 years old, and he's just put the whole family in danger. So that's why the dad he's having flashbacks.
Like that. Yeah.
Him and his dad used to go back and forth. His dad didn't want him to play basketball, but he wanted to do it anyway. And so him and his dad ended up getting into a fight, and he ended up hurting his dad. His dad was paralyzed because he pushed him.
Oh, wow. So don't tell us anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting ready to go over and click. Now, I'll be honest with you, I had not purchased it yet. I just been reading the clips and the snippets, but you're seriously making this book available. And we're going to come up with something where we're going to put this book as an available gift to our audience. We're going to put it out there. I'm going to come up with something to where we're going to put this book in the hands. I want to say, yes, somebody else. So a single mom needs to read this book. And like you said, and even she doesn't even have to be single. It can be a mother of sons that can read this book. A youth ministry can definitely. It sounds like that they would. We can recommend that book. So we're gonna do a review. We're going to definitely. I'm gonna be over here on Amazon buying books here. I do it live. Okay. Yes, I do. Well, listen. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about. You have an author call that you are doing right now for a book project, and I want to yield so you can tell us about that book project.
Okay, the name of the book project is titled Our Fathers. Why just go blank? Because I started out with just the title Our Fathers, but then I added the weight we carry.
Yeah.
And when Mother's Day come around, it's all about the mothers. Everywhere you go, you see Mother's Day cards, you see flowers, you see all the different gifts that you can get your mother. But when Father's Day come around, we don't get that same attention. Okay. And it's not that we're less important. We're just as important as the mothers. And I understand how the difference in, it's a holiday that it makes money. But at the same time, we hear a lot of talk about deadbeat fathers. But we never really hear the stories of the fathers who are good fathers, who are good dads. Some men who take on other people's children and they don't have any of their own. We don't hear enough about those type of stories. Even when you see athletes, they go on these award shows, they always talk about my mom did this, my mom did that. Well, where's dad? We don't hear about that. So what I did was I called out some of my friends and family who are authors, and even some of them they're not authors, but they're willing to write their story and tell me what's their experience has been in being a father.
Yeah.
Being a father changed my life. It made me grow up really fast. I became a father at 19. And I adopted my daughter when she was 4. And we had eventually we went on to have a son together. But fatherhood is something that means a lot to me. My father is great. Even though I never had to look outside my house to find a role model, because my role model was right there in the house with me. And if he wasn't enough, then I had my uncles who lived down the street. I've always had a father figure in my life.
Right.
But there's so many young men who don't really get to celebrate their fathers or the people who play a father figure. So this is just my way of giving back, shedding some light on some really good fathers. And hopefully this can at least start a conversation about fatherhood.
Absolutely.
Who wants to be fathers, how to be a good father.
So listen, if you're in the audience, and we're going to get the word out, this is going to be another piece. Yeah. So this is an author call for any, they'll just fill out the form and just connect with you. Is that what they need to do, Royce?
Yeah, they just need to connect with me. There's no form to fill out, nothing. Just contact me and we'll talk about it.
We'll go from there.
But I want to have Father's Day next year.
And so your goal is, as you said, that this book isn't just a collection of stories. It's a reckoning, a release, a mirror held up for emotional inheritance. Men carry often quietly, often painful, and a call to name it, honor it, and heal through it. I believe vulnerability is strength, and I want to model it for other men who've never been given permission to speak. So this is awesome. So what you're saying is that you're building a community, not just content. Every story in the anthology is a thread in a larger tapestry of healing, resilience, and connection. So all of that information, those of you, we want you to follow Royce. And yes, if I have some women in the audience, if you have a brother, a husband, an uncle, yes, even your own father, if you feel he's interested, let's put them in touch with Royce and share your story. Share your story. Our Fathers, the Weight We Carry. And you said your goal is to have it published by, you're going to, are you taking your time with this?
Yeah, I am. So it'll be released June of 2026. So we got some months trying to get it together. Like I don't want people to rush. I don't want to put them in a box and tell them what to write. I want it to be real and authentic.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So there's an author call, and this is going to be amazing. Our Fathers, the Weight We Carry. Visionary author, yes. And we're talking about Mr. Royce Dixon Sr. Well, listen, we have had an amazing conversation on tonight. We will be doing some replays, and we definitely, I definitely got to go over here and get my book. So I can give you a review for sure. Yeah. It is always our custom to lean back and to step back and allow our guests to have the final words of our interview. And I think this book is going to be amazing. We certainly want to congratulate you on the upcoming award and that you'll be receiving. And the reviews of this book are definitely proceeding, and we're so excited and can't wait to get my copy. Yeah, so I can share some reviews, and we'll be talking about it. And of course, we're going to be bringing you back for sure. Okay. But I'm going to yield back and allow you to share your heart with us. All right. At this time, I present to you our audience, Mr. Royce Dixon Sr., who is the author of, yes, this book here that we're talking about tonight, A Rose on the Concrete Court. And I yield.
Thank you, Dr. Sandy. First, let me say thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure meeting you and talking with you. It's like we've been knowing each other for a while now. It's so easy to talk with you. And I just want to remind the readers and your fans and your followers to remember that you're blessed to be a blessing. There's a reason why you've been given the gifts that you've been given. So make sure you're using them in some type of way. Don't let your gift die on the vine. And the graveyard is full of great intentions and people who wanted to do great things, who could do great things, but they just chose not to for whatever reason. Don't let a no stop you from doing whatever it is that God's giving you to do. Because if he's giving it to you, he's giving you his yes, that's all you really need. And just go from there. And don't worry about the masses or how many people that you may encounter, whether it's 1 or 1,000. I was just talking to my wife about Thomas Edison, he had an idea to create the light bulb. And now when you look around the world, everybody goes back to that one. Everybody uses electricity to get that light bulb. And so if one person can do it, why can't you? You know, there's nothing that we can't do. There's nothing too hard for us to do. If we can think it, we can achieve it, we can do it. And I just want our people to know too, that it's okay not to be okay. If you need help in whatever area in your life that you need help in, go out and get it. Google it. If you need help, call me. I don't know it all. I don't proclaim to know it all. But at the same time, I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to listen, to do whatever. If I don't know somebody, I'll call somebody, and maybe they may know somebody. But there's always help available. So don't just suffer in silence. Too many of us have died suffering in silence. And men, we've been quiet too long. It's our responsibility to get our children back together. You know, yeah, it's us and the wives, but the women have been praying for us and praying for our children long enough. And now it's time for us to take up the mantle and not only pray and work with our children, but teach our children, even if that's not your children. Maybe it's the next door neighbors, maybe it's your niece or your nephew, whoever it is. But if you're a man and you hear my voice, please reach out and touch somebody else, even if it's just one person, because that one person may affect another 10 people. Those 10 people may affect another 1,000, and so on and so forth. But we've got to start with one person at a time. I feel, it's my belief that if we can affect one household, that can affect one neighborhood, that can affect one community, that can affect one city and one state, and so on and so forth. So if you have the ability to help, please do reach out. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Yes, reach out. Our community, you know, it needs us desperately. We need the leadership. We need, you know, I think when God places in our heart that we care for others, that we will do what we can, as you said, and as our audience, our guest said on tonight, is that if he doesn't know the answer, he's willing to help you find the answer. We're losing too many Black men and men in general, but our culture, we're losing too many at the hand of guns, gun violence in our community, among each other. I live in Greensboro now, and I'm telling you, it's every day we're hearing somewhere in a community that young men are dying at the hand of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Back, and we're going to be ending, but I feel it's so necessary. We're going to pray. We're going to pray before we end this, because my nephew, when you and I just first got connected in Spartanburg, South Carolina, my nephew called me 2 days, 3 days before he ended up dying while in custody. He had a history of mental illness back and forth, but he was a father and a husband, a father, a husband, and whatever took place on that day, our lives will never be the same. He had called me and he wanted to be a writer, Mr. Royce. He often would call me, Aunt Sandy, I want to write my story. He had a story to tell. Yes, he had battled drugs and addiction. He had battled the homelessness. He had battled many challenges, but it seemed like that last 2 years, his life, he desired to give all of that up and seek Christ, because he was raised in church and was raised but life happens, and all we know is that our life will never be the same. And I know now that we're part of that community that have lost a husband, that has lost a child, a son, because of an untimely death, whether it's mental illness, whether it's of gun violence, whether it's they have just no hope. That's all they see and know.
Right. And it's so sad that yeah, everywhere you go, that's all you see. Even on the TV, you see the gun violence. Yeah. And we don't see enough of the good side of people. We don't. And there's so many beautiful stories out here, but it's more profitable to make those type of movies. And I understand. they're doing it. It's for the money. That's their business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at some point, we have to get back to making shows like the Cosby Show.
Yes.
Good, wholesome family shows who, they put a spotlight on certain issues at times.
Yeah.
But it was a good, wholesome show that you could watch, and the whole family could sit down and watch and laugh and spend that time together.
Yeah. That, oh my goodness, that is such another whole conversation. Yes, and letting me, I'm a little too old for that, but listen, encourage our young people. Listen, you're dreaming, you could be a director, you could be a writer, just like you're saying, is to be able to provide the wholesomeness of families, showing the positive, what our young people can see. And so when we have dialogue like this, conversation like this, and more in our community, I say, God, why am I here? Greensboro Triad area, if you're not familiar, I'm surrounded by nothing but universities and colleges. And you've got HBCUs here, and then there is the universities. There is Duke University, there's North Carolina University, there's all kinds of universities and colleges and young people all around. But yet on the flip side, we've got young people who got universities and colleges right under them, but they're bound by their immediate surrounding. Yes. And that immediate surrounding is drugs and violence and homelessness. There's a large homeless community here. Yeah. And so I'm just praying and asking God, Lord, what would you have me to do? And so that's just a whole another conversation right there. But I know that I'm here for a purpose. I know that I'm here for a reason. Jail Prison Ministry is where God's called me into that arena. So we served for a long time in Mississippi. So we'll see what the Lord, our assignment is here. So as we end our broadcast tonight, y'all, we're just having a conversation. That's what we do here at Coffee Conversation. I want to thank your wife for releasing you and sharing you with our audience on tonight. So hello, Ms. Dixon. We say God bless you and thank you so much and your family for sharing you with our audience on tonight. We're so grateful. So listen, men of God, I'm going to ask you to share a prayer with us, and we're going to be wrapping this up. But thank you again. Thank you. And we'll be sharing this out. And so listen, if individuals you all want to reach, you want to share that information, how they can reach you, and then we'll go into prayer.
Okay. May we pray. Father God, I thank you for the opportunity. Father God, we've come to you as humble as I know how. Just thanking you for what you've done just on today, oh God. If you never do anything else, I want to thank you for today, for giving us breath, for giving us this conversation, for putting me in touch with Dr. Sandy, oh God, so that we can talk to the masses about how your goodness and your holiness and your grace and your mercy, oh God. Father, I want to pray for all the bereaved families, oh God, right now who suffered the loss of a loved one at the hands of a gun, oh God. Father, I pray that you touch our youth right now, oh God, in a mighty way, oh God. Let them know that there's more to life than running around with a gun or trying to get a bag. Let them know that there's love out there, there's grace out there, there's mercy out there, and all we have to do is ask for it, oh God. That you can do anything, you can do anything because you have all power, oh God. And Lord, we just thank you once again. In your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you again. Thank you so much. Amen and amen. Well, listen, audience, listen again. God bless you. Thank you so much for coming through. Listen, you all follow Royce Dixon Sr. You can follow him on all social media platform, as well as you also want to follow, yes, Be Blessed Culture. You can find them on all social media platforms. Be Blessed Clothing. Yes, you can find it on Instagram. Find them on Instagram, Facebook, and any of those others. You can also, follow Mr. Royce you can follow him on She Publishing as well. Well, again, we want to thank you all for tuning in for another amazing episode of Coffee Conversation and Book Talks with Sandy, where we host authors, anthology book projects, and most of all, I say that it is for you. Y'all wouldn't even think that I would have a cup of coffee this time of the night, but yes, I am going to have a cup of coffee. to wind down. But it's been a great day. It's been an amazing day. I want to thank my today's guest all the way from the very beginning, Dr. Sonja Stinson. Yes, all the way from the Chicago, Illinois area, Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, CEO and founder of CTR Media Network, and her book, The 7 Steps of starting a podcast. And then, of course, our guest, as we wrap it up this evening with our phenomenal guest and a sponsor of our show, is Royce Dixon, Senior CEO of Be Blessed Culture. And the book we talked about tonight, Arose on the Concrete Court. And also be looking out. There is an author call for his upcoming project that you don't want to miss out on. Okay. And so listen, as always, you guys know that I love you. Be blessed. Share this out. Go buy the book. Share it out with someone. And truly, we know that you're going to be blessed. So as always, you all take care. I love you. God bless you. And we'll see you soon. Stay tuned because we have another episode next week. All right. We'll be carrying out some more authors on next week. We'll be doing some interviewing. So listen, you guys be blessed. All right. Take care. And Ms. Royce, stay with me in the green room. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay. All right. Good night.